Hello, welcome back to Cracking the Cryptic. It's Wednesday today. I have a bit of a croaky throat, so I hope that's not going to be too annoying. To make up for it, I've got what looks to be an amazing puzzle. There it is on the screen. 8 given digits, that's all you're going to get. I'm going to talk in a minute about the rules of this puzzle. But I wanted to mention, for those of you who didn't see yesterday's video, that we've just released our classic Sudoku app. It came out yesterday, and it's already getting some quite good feedback, so that's great to hear. And something that amused me about it was that Apple seemed to think it's a board game. We're ranked number 11 in board games at the moment for our Sudoku app. I have no clue why that is. I didn't know we were competing with Monopoly and Cluedo, but we do seem to be. And I know it's a pain in the neck, but any of you who do buy the app and do enjoy it, I would really appreciate it if you could take the trouble to write a nice review or give it some stars. It does seem to make a difference to how much Apple or Android or Steam promote the game. Right, but let's go on to this puzzle. This puzzle has a bit of a story behind it. Christoph Seeliger recommended it to me because he remembered it as an outstanding Sudoku he'd solved many years previously. So this is quite an old puzzle. It in fact dates back to 2013. And it's created by the Indian setter and solver, Rishi Puri. Now Rishi has represented India many times in the World Sudoku Championship. A seriously brilliant competitor. And yeah, this puzzle, well, I mean, it looks stunning, but let me tell you about the rules. So the first extra condition here is that it's a non-consecutive Sudoku. Now that means that if we look at this 4 as an example, in the squares adjacent to the 4, there could not be a 3 or a 5 because obviously they are consecutive with a 4, so that they couldn't be in any of those connected squares. And the second extra condition here is an anti-knight's move condition. Now what does that mean? Well, that means you can't have, looking at this 4 again, there couldn't be a 4, a knight's move away, and that's a chess knight's move. So I guess those squares, all of those squares could not contain 4s because of the knight's move constraint. And that's it. Apparently it is possible to solve this puzzle just with those 2 additional constraints. Now, as you'll know if you've got the classic Sudoku app, or even if you've looked at the Sandwich Sudoku app, both Mark and I do spend quite a lot of our time constructing Sudokus, and I have no clue, absolutely no clue, how you go about creating this puzzle. So already, before trying it, I'm lost in admiration of this as a feat of construction. But I'm going to have a go now at solving it. Now, if you'd like to have a go, and I do recommend it, please click under the link, or click on the link under the video. That'll take you to a page that should look very similar to this one, and you can try the puzzle. Now, I'm going to start with 4s because we've got 2 of them. So there can't be 4s in any of those squares, and because of the knight's move constraint, there can't be a 4 here or here. So there must be a 4 in one of those 2 squares. I guess we can do something similar with 5s. Look, knight's moves rule out all of those squares, so the 5 must be in one of those squares. And they're the only digits we have more than 1 digit for. So okay, so we're going to have to, I think we're going to have to look at these 4 squares then, because these squares are going to be restricted by the consecutive condition. So let's take a look at this one. So this can be 1, it can't be 2, it can't be 3 because that's consecutive with 4, it can't be 4, 5, 6 or 7 because of the knight's move. So that one can only be 1, 8 or 9. This one, now that one can be 1 or 2. Can't be 3, can't be 4 because that's consecutive with 5. Can't be 6 or 7 or 8 because 8 is consecutive with 7. So that can be 1, 2 or 9. This one can't, well, it can be 1. It can't be 2, 3, 4, 5. Can't be 6, that's consecutive with 5. Can't be 7, so that's That's 1, 8, and 9 as well. Ah, okay, so I've got something here. Look. Those given squares all see by a knight's move that one. So this square here can only be a 1, 8 or a 9. My phone's buzzing, 1 second. Right, my phone was Mark telling me that a puzzle he was testing has an ambiguous solution. He's not pleased about it. But anyway, we've just found this 1, 8, 9 triple. So what does that tell us? Well, that square can't be a 1 or a 9 anymore, so that must be a 2. Now the 2's look. This can't be a 2 because it would be a knight's move away from this square. So this is a 2, this is a 2, and this is a 2. Let's see what this corner can be as well. This one can't be 1 because that's consecutive with 2. Can't be 3, 4, 5 or 6. Oh, so this must be a 7 because it can't be an 8 or a 9 because of the triple. So that's a 7, and therefore this is a 7 in one of those squares. Ah, now that's nice, isn't it? Look at this 6 now. This 6 rules out a 6 from this square, but a 6 can't go in either of those squares because then it would be next to a 7. So this square is a 6. This must therefore be a 4. 3 means this is a 3 and this is a 5. So we've made a bit of progress. Now, can we use any of the... Yes, we can. 6's, look. These 6's, that can't be a 6 because it would be a knight's move away. So that's a 6. And sort of symmetrically, these 3's, that can't be a 3. So that must be a 3. 4, oh, the 4's are nice. Look at the 4's here. These two 4's force a 4 into one of those squares, but that one can't be a 4 because it would be next to a 5. So that's a 4. 4's here. This can't be a 4 because of the knight's move, so the 4's must be in one of those. Oh, 4's must be in one of those squares. 5's now. 5's. Oh, so this is, the 4's and the 5's are sort of completely symmetrical. Look at this, the 5's here, so the 5's are locked up here, and I just did this logic down here with the 4's. So the 5's are in one of these two positions, the 4 rules out the 5 from that square, so that's a 5. 5's here, I mean there's a 5 in one of those two squares, which is exactly mirroring. There's something going on here. I think I'm meant to be noticing something and I'm probably being a bit slow. I'm going to have a look at the rows and columns where we've got lots of given digits though. Let's have a look at this one. We need 1, 6, 8 and 9. Well, that square can't be a 6 because then it would be next to a 5. So the 6 is down there. Oh, beautiful. Look at the 6's now. So the 6, this 6, well, the 6 here is ruled out by a knight's move, and a 6 at the top is ruled out by the 5. So this square must be a 6. Oh, now, look at those two squares. Now this is easy to miss unless you do quite a few puzzles where there's a knight's move constraint, but 6's in the centre of 3x3 blocks are very powerful. And that's because of what this sort of pattern here. So this, where can the 6 go up in this box? It can't go there, it can't go here, and by knight's move it can't go there or there. So the 6 is locked into one of these two squares. Now that means there's a 6 down there as well. 6 is in one of 3 positions up there, so I'm probably not going to notate that. Okay, let's try this column. So here we need 1, 3, 8 and 9. So here the 3, Here the 3 can't go here because it would be next to a 4. So the 3 is up there. Oh, this is unbelievable. This is the same logic we've just done on the 6s. The 6s and the 3s are totally symmetrical. Because look, 3s, 3. This is ruled out from being a 3 by either knight's move or it being consecutive with that one. The 4 rules out a 3 from that square, so the 3 must go here. And that's unbelievable. Now look at the way that these 3s have just talked about this logic. The 3, that is something magical. And now look, the 3s here are locked into rows 1 and rows 2. The 6s are ruled. Oh my goodness. So let's talk about the 3s first. Where can a 3 go in row 3 of the grid, given we've got this pattern of 3s in rows 1 and rows 2 in 2 different 3x3 blocks? Well, a 3 can't go in those squares. It can't go here, so it must be in one of these 3 squares. That means it's in one of those 2 squares because of this 3. Now, the corollary of that is going to be there's a 6 in one of these 2 squares. I do now wonder whether, because we've got 5 digits along here, are we going to get the same thing? We need 1. Oh my god, we are. Look, 7s. This can't be a 7 because of that. So the 7 is over here. And now, if I'm right, this will be a 2 because 2s and 7s are symmetrical. And the 2 is locked over there by this 3. Holy moly, this is unbelievable. So where can 7 go in this box? It can't go here because of the knight's move. It can't go here because it would be next to a 6. So it must go there. Which means this is a 5. And now these 5s interact. Look, we've got the same trick with the knight's moves, eliminating those 2 squares. Oops, I didn't mean to put that in. Undo. So there's a 5 in one of these 2 positions, which interact with this 5. Oh yes, now. So there must be a 5 in one of those 3 squares. Well, this 5 sees that one and that one by knight's move. So this square must be a 5. This, therefore, is a 3. This is a 6. I'm desperate to go and look at the 2s here. But we should follow through on the logic. Let's see what this gives us. So, well, 6s. There must be a 6 in one of those 3 positions. So, the 6 rules out 2 of them. That must be a 6. Therefore, that's a 6 at the bottom. 3 must be in one of those 2 squares because this 3 sees that one by knight's move. And 5 must be over there. Okay, so now let's go and check this row, because I think we're going to find that we're going to get these same digits, the symmetrical counterparts to these digits in this box. Let's see. So we know that there must be a 2 in one of these squares, therefore the 2's ruled out from here by the 3, here by the knight's move. This is a 2, this is a 4. Now, this 4 should interact with this 4, and does, to rule out those squares. So the 4 is in one of those 2 positions, which means this is a 4. Well, that's a 3, that's a 3. 4's here, so there's a 4 in one of those 2 squares at the top. I mean, it's just unbelievable. It is unbelievable. Now, if we look at this box, in fact, the 7 has become powerful. And the 7's become powerful because of the 6. So there can't be a 7 connected to the 6, and there can't be a 7 here because of this 7. So there is a 7 in one of those 2 squares, which means there's a 7 up there. Now, I therefore think we'll be able to do exactly the same with this 2. Yep, this 3 rules out the 2 from those squares. Oh my goodness. Okay. What should we do next? Sevens, twos, sixes. Okay, have we done anything? We've now got 2 new rows with 5 digits in. So this row, where do we place an 8 in this row? It can only go in those 2 squares because of the 7 being here. Not sure how to use that, but I guess we should. Yeah, now this is interesting because we haven't yet worked out what the symmetrical counterpart of the 8 was, but it's actually going to be the 1 because this 2 means there can't be a 1 in those squares, so the 1 must be in one of these 2 positions. Right. Ah, look, this, I should have spotted this. This 2 sees that square. So I missed it twice. The 7 also. So the 2 must be here because it can't be a knight's move away. Which means this is a 2. Oh, sorry. It means this is a 2. Which means there's a 2 in one of those 2 positions at the top. And now that means we should be able to do exactly the same thing with the 7s over here. This is a 7, this is a 7, therefore there's a 7 in one of those squares. Okay. Oh yes, now look, 5s. 5s down here. This 6 is powerful because it rules a 5 out from that square. Therefore, 5 can't go here or here, 5 is pushed down. Now that's nice, that's going to give us a 5 here, and a 4, and a 6, and a 2, and a 7, my goodness. Now, before we do anything, I've just got to look at 4s up here. So let's check. Yes, it's the same. Look, 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 look. 4s, 4s, and this 3. Rule out 4s from those squares. Therefore, 4 here. Therefore, this can't be a 4. 4, 5, 3, 7, 2. How amazing is this puzzle? How do you go about constructing this puzzle? This is mad. That must be I'm doing this puzzle by symmetry a lot here. I'm not even really looking at How do you construct this? And every time I spot something, I can just go to the opposite corner and fill in the logic. So, where can an 8 go in this block? Well, it can't go next to a 7, so it's got to go there. Therefore, without even looking, there must be a 1 there. And if we come down, we can see it's true because of the 2 ruling out the 1 from those squares. Now, these 8s, now that must be an 8 now. Therefore, that 8, 1, 9 all unwinds like that, I think. Now, if that's the case here, it must also be the case here. 1, 8, 9. So down here, I need, what's it going to be? 1 and 5. Well, this must be the 5, therefore. 1 in one of those squares. It's not connected to anything, so that's not going to fix itself yet, but we can immediately go 4 and 8 into these squares as well. So this is a 1 or a 9, and this is a 1 or a 9. Therefore, these should be 8 and 9 down here, and they are. There must be a... now where can a 1 go in this box? It can't go next to a 2. This can't be a 1 because of that. So this is a 1. So immediately that's an 8. And you can see it's true because the 7 rules out the 8 from there. This is quite remarkable. I feel a bit stunned by it. I feel like this is so far beyond my own capabilities in terms of understanding how to set this puzzle. I'm just a bit lost in admiration for it, to be honest. Now, I need to put a 7 into one of those squares. I wonder if we can rule that out by some sort of knight's move affair. Not seeing how. 9. This can't be an 8. This resolves the 8 and the 9 over here, look. So that's a 1. This must be an 8. This must be a 9. Therefore, that square at the top's got to be an 8 now. Neither of those squares can be a 1. That's a 9. That's an 8. That's a 9. That's a 1. That's a 1. That's a 9. That means that should be a 1 down here. These two squares are 7 and 9, so that's resolvable. And hopefully, if I've not made any errors, we should have 2 and 9 into those squares. And this square here should be a 1. Please be right. Yeah. What a puzzle that is. What a puzzle. I mean, I'm going to be very interested to read the comments on this one. That to me was, as a feat of setting, is a work of pure genius. Pure genius. Rishi, hats off, my friend. That is absolutely mesmerising. Thanks for watching, and we'll be back again soon with another edition of Cracking the Cryptic.